Beloved character actor Tom Noonan has died at the age of 74. News of his passing was shared by filmmaker Fred Decker and actress Karen Sillis, both of whom worked closely with him over the years. According to those who knew him, Noonan passed peacefully on February 14th, 2026. A cause of death has not been publicly announced. For many movie fans, Tom Noonan was one of those rare actors whose face you instantly recognized, even if you didn't always know his name. He was tall, unmistakable, intense without being theatrical, and capable of bringing depth to characters who might have otherwise lived only on the surface. Noonan's career spanned decades across film, television, and theater, but three roles in particular cemented his cult status among genre fans: Francis Dollarhide in Manhunter, Frankenstein's monster in The Monster Squad, and Kane in RoboCop 2. Each of those performances showed something different. In Manhunter, directed by Michael Mann, Noonan portrayed the chilling serial killer Francis Dollarhide. It was a performance built not on loud menace, but on discomfort and psychological fragility. His portrayal was haunting precisely because it felt human. He didn't lean into caricature. He leaned into vulnerability twisted by trauma. That restraint made the character unforgettable. Then came The Monster Squad in 1987. In that film, Noonan played Frankenstein's monster, but not in the traditional horror sense. His version carried a quiet sadness, a gentleness beneath the exterior. Director Fred Decker later described Noonan's performance as one of the highlights of his filmography. That version of Frankenstein wasn't just a creature, it was a being searching for connection. It became iconic. And then in RoboCop 2, Noonan shifted again. As Kane, the cult leader turned cyborg villain, he delivered a performance that was both unsettling and strangely charismatic. He had a way of making even the most exaggerated roles feel grounded, but limiting Tom Noonan's career to genre films would miss the larger picture. He was also a playwright, director, and theater actor with deep roots in New York's off Broadway scene. In the early 1990s, he wrote and directed What Happened Was, a small, intimate film that grew into one of the most respected independent movies of its era. Karen Sillis, his co star in that film and play, described working with Noonan as a turning point in her own life and career. She recalled the experience as a privilege and crazy fun and said his legacy would continue to shine. That duality defined him. Tom Noonan could move between studio films and intimate stage productions without losing authenticity. He did not chase mainstream celebrity, he chased craft. His physical presence often led to him being cast in villainous or mysterious roles. But those who worked with him consistently described him as thoughtful, kind, and deeply collaborative. He wasn't interested in dominating scenes, he was interested in exploring them. That's what makes the phrase character actor so fitting. Character actors build worlds, they support narratives, they create texture and atmosphere, they make stories believable by inhabiting people who feel lived in. Tom Noonan excelled at that. He also had one of those rare qualities in performance: patience. He allowed scenes to breathe. He trusted silence. He didn't rush dialogue or overplay emotion. That kind of discipline is learned over time, and Noonan's decades in theater sharpened that instinct. His death at 74 closes a chapter for fans who grew up with his performances in the 1980s and 90s, but his work continues to circulate, rediscovered by new audiences through streaming platforms and cult cinema retrospectives. Tom Noonan may not have been a headline grabbing movie star, but he was something arguably more enduring. He was dependable, distinct, and fearless in the kinds of roles he chose to inhabit. As tributes continue to surface from colleagues and fans, one thing becomes clear: the world of film and theater lost a singular presence, not flashy, not loud, but unforgettable. Tom Noonan's legacy will continue to live in the quiet intensity he brought to every performance, and in the generations of actors who learned from watching him hold a screen without ever having to shout. The world has lost a great talent, but the characters he gave us remain.